Hey YouTube, it's David from emptybootstrap.com. In this video, we're going to learn how to create a working PHP contact form for your website. So if you have a website and you would like someone to contact you, to leave a message, and you would like to receive an email every time when someone fill this message, fill this form, this is video for you. This is a shorter version where I'm going to show you just the basic one, which you can create in the matter of minutes. And we also going to create a new one, a new tutorial, longer version, where I'm gonna show you more sophisticated versions, where I'm gonna show you how to secure it, how to add validation, and a lot other stuff, which I'm gonna explain to you by the end of this video. So if you want to know more about the other version, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because then you're gonna get the notification when the new updated version, extended version is gonna be released. And as for now, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is gonna be very quick. So what I assume is that you have PHP server installed. If you don't have it, just a quick note, you can use, for example, XAMPP or other application. What is XAMPP? It's PHP development environment. So it's available for both Windows, Linux, and Mac OS, or OS X actually. So simply install it, download it, install it. Once you do that, you can start it, and then we're gonna start our Apache server, which is gonna start our PHP, which allows us to use PHP, create PHP applications, then navigate to XAMPP location. So in my case, it's C/XAMPP, and then go to htdocs, which is our root folder where we're gonna store our projects, and then create new project. I called my contact form, and this is where we're gonna work. So now if I open this one in Visual Studio Code, and I'm gonna create an index.php file, so I'm about to create it right now, index.php, and I'm gonna echo hello world and save it. Then I'm gonna open my web browser and navigate to localhost / project name. In my case, it's contact form. You're gonna see that this is working perfectly fine. So this is how you verify whether your PHP is working correct or not. Now, let's start with our form. So we're gonna create a very simple form. So let's start. We have form, and action, we're gonna set it to another file. So let's call it something like mail PHP. So we want to call this once we submit our form. And now let's quickly add some inputs. We can have some title here. And now let's have input text for ID name, and let's add label here, and let's call it name. So this is gonna be our name. And let me quickly create some remaining fields. So we want to have email, subject, and message. Okay. Let me quickly fix names here. Let's change this input type to actually something else. So let's use text area for that. Okay, so we have some inputs here. Okay, and now let's create mail PHP. So I'm gonna create new file here, mail PHP. And now let's first see what values are we getting. So I'm gonna print it, and let's fill our form. So we have some name, email, some subject and message. Oh, we missed submit form. Okay, we need input type submit. Okay, and now let's test it. And as you can see, our array is empty, and this is because we are missing name attribute here. So let me quickly add this missing attributes here. So as you can see, we use ID, but it's used for JavaScript, and we need name for our forms. And now let's pardon my interruptions for a moment. I just wanted to let you know that besides this video, we also released a lot of different tutorials. Especially you should check our Bootstrap 5 crash course, which we released recently. If you want to watch this video, you're gonna find the link somewhere over here or in the description down below. This is a perfect tutorial for the people who haven't used Bootstrap 5 or Bootstrap at all in the past, as well as for those who've been using Bootstrap for some previous projects and would like to know what has changed. And believe me, a lot has changed in newest Bootstrap 5. This video and this tutorial obviously is completely free for everyone. It's available on the YouTube, and if you would like to support us to help us creating more tutorials and materials like this video and the Bootstrap 5 course, you should also try our MDB UI kit, which is available also for free as an open source. You're gonna find a link to this project down below, so give a try and I'm sure you're gonna love it. See our results here. So as you can see, we are getting all the values. So we have name, email, subject, and message. Okay, now let me get back to mail. And what we want to do now is we need to first set headers. We're gonna be using a mail function, but I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. For now, let's set headers first. So as far as headers are concerned, we're gonna set from value. So I'm gonna use postmaster add, and here you put your domain.com and then we want to add another header. So dot equals reply to. So whenever user hit a reply button, is gonna provide this email address. So for example, contact your domain.com. Okay, and new line. Now, what we need as well is content type and charset. You could technically skip it, but this may cause some issue with encoding, so you can play with it on your own and see whether it's working fine for you. I suggest to add it. And finally, let's add content transfer encoding 8-bit. As I said, this is not mandatory, but it is a good thing to do. Okay, now let's get our values. So we want to have name equals, and now is set. So we are checking whether this parameter was sent, as we don't have validation. So we don't want to have error of the empty value. empty variable. So we want to assign this this value from get variable only if it's not empty. Otherwise, we want to assign empty string. We could obviously do something like this, but in that case, if this is empty, if this will be empty, so someone doesn't fill his name, then we're gonna get an error, and we don't want to do that. We don't want errors. So since we don't have validation on front, which we're gonna learn how to do in the other tutorial, which we're gonna create very soon for you, so we will do this trick, which will save us from this kind of mistakes. And obviously we want to have this one for email, subject, and message. Okay, so now we have these variables here. So let's create new one for content. And so this is gonna be content of our email. So we're gonna have something like from and name, email, so sender email, new line, and message. And for the recipient, I want to use my own email. And finally, we want to use our mail function. So mail function returns 1 if everything was successful, and 0 if something failed. So this is how we're gonna check whether sending was successful. And we are providing following parameters. So we have recipient here. So this is my email address. Obviously you want to send contact form to yourself. Then you have subject, content of the email, which we created over here, and headers, so extra meta information. And what we want to do is that if everything goes fine, we want to say email sent, and otherwise we want to raise an error saying echo error. Obviously we should do something like die or error, but for the sake of simplicity I'm just gonna do echo. Okay, now let's test it locally. So let me quickly so let's test it. Okay, we've got some error on the line 21. Obviously we missed this one. Let's refresh it. And we are getting error. Warning, mail failed to connect to mail server. So what's happening now? I'm running my server locally. It tries to connect to the local mail server, but I don't have SMTP server here. It is possible to add SMTP server to your XAMPP configuration, but I'm not gonna do it today. What I'm gonna do instead, I will connect to FTP server, which I have on one of the server providers. So I'm gonna open FTP client here, and I'm gonna connect to my own domain, and I'm gonna go to I'm gonna create new folder here called contact form. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna upload these files to my server. So I'm uploading this to my server, which I bought. And now if I go to david.ada.com/contact form, I see my form. and let's test it. Email sent. And now let me check my inbox. And here it is, postmasteryourdomain.com via my hosting provider from, and this is our message. So I hope you found it very easy. As you can see, you can create contact form within just a few lines here. It's not difficult, it's not easy. Obviously, there is still a lot to do, because what we can do it, what we're gonna do in our next tutorial, we're gonna learn first of all how to add extra validation here, so to make sure that user fill all the fields which are required for us, to make sure that whatever he puts into contact form is valid email, for example, right? So you don't want him to put some garbage here. You want him to provide a correct email address, and so on and so on. So validation, but then again, validation on the front side can be disabled by user by disabling JavaScript. So we're also gonna add extra validation on the backend side. So we're also gonna add validations over here, and we're gonna also learn about a few more tricks, like for example, how to secure our contact form from bots and spammers who would like to, submit it like 1,000 times and then send this email to our mailbox 1,000 times, because that's what unfortunately is happening. It's possible. So you should know how to make it secure. If you don't want to miss it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel right away. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know down below in the comment whether this was useful for you, what else would you like to learn, whether everything was clear to you, and if you like it, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and see you in the next video.